Oh, the Montana Lifestyles podcast, my friends. I am having the best time for one specific reason. And that is because back in 2020, there was a show that was done right in the middle of COVID that changed my life because I met incredible people. I met inspiring people, and I met people with hearts that just loved sharing their passion and making friends. And Amanda here is one of those people that truly, absolutely affected my life in a positive way. And I get a lot of Amandas in my life, apparently, but they're all absolutely incredible. And you've been going through some really amazing stuff. Can I first say, though, that your business sense... I'm an artist, okay? But you're doing things on a whole new level when it comes to the business side as well. You're killing it, first off.
Thank you.
So where do you get that business sense from? Where's that? Because I make my wife do all that.
You know, I wish that I had a wife to do all that. Or a husband, doesn't really matter. But I don't have somebody like that. And so it's been very necessary for me to learn a lot of that side of things. And what's interesting is I didn't actually major in business or even go to college.
Sure.
And so it's been something that as I decided that I wanted to be a full-time artist, it's something that I just started realizing that I didn't know what I was doing. You know, and so I really have been wanting to develop that side of things, and ended up getting involved in a business group in Bozeman. And so it's actually a lot of other business owners from around town.
Right.
Most of them are not artists. There's a couple. And so it's been a really, really strategic group of people. It's called Bozeman Mastermind. And so it's been really amazing because you just get to learn a lot of different things from a lot of different people who have a ton of experience, and it has really truly helped me step up my game as far as the business sense and trying new things and building confidence. And they were actually a huge part of the reason that I went full-time with art, is because I was able to talk through all the things that were scaring me and holding me back. So,
but where are you coming up with these ideas? Because, I mean, first off, if you don't see her on Instagram, she's prolific on Instagram, does a great job. Penny is your dog? Is it Penny?
Oh, Pippin.
Yeah. will heavily engage and keep your attention as well. But I mean, you're doing things like you're making bottle toppers for like wine bottles and things, which are gorgeous in themselves, designed off of stuff that you've already created. My favorite piece of yours still to this day is it's a wolf where you don't know what's connected to what in this wolf design. There's just so much incredible stuff that you're doing. So how are you coming up with all these ideas like, a wine bottle topper? Yeah, I can pull that off. Let me source where to get this, and all the way down to the boxing and stuff. Like, it's insane.
Well, thank you. Yeah, each one is kind of its own unique experience because it's all born out of an experience.
Necessity.
Yeah, honestly though, it really is. Yeah. Because it's not like I just set out one day and was like, I'm gonna do these wine stoppers. Right. The wine stoppers came very early on in my career when I was I created some pieces and was really excited about them and had a couple very harsh critiques and had a really difficult time understanding how to differentiate myself and my worth from my work. And so I honestly, after those, I didn't create for a couple of months. And so the wine stoppers started when I said, hey, I need to get back in the studio. I need to start creating again because this is life-giving for me. Yeah. And so it was kind of almost like my act of defiance where I was like, no one's going to judge me if the anatomy on a 2-inch horse is perfect or not. And I've always loved tiny things. They just bring me joy. And really, they do. And so it's something that I just started doing them because I love them, and they brought life back to me so that I could get back into working with my hands and working with clay. And then people loved them, and so I wanted to make them functional. And I've also really wanted to have, bronze is a very expensive medium.
Traditionally it's insane.
It is. And
the foundries, there's no foundries anywhere these days.
Right. And so I wanted to have something that was accessible, that people that are close to me could afford, and so that's, born out of kind of 3 different directions. That's where the wine stoppers came from. Right. And then so that's kind of everything that I love innovation. And so oftentimes
you're innovating though. You are innovating.
But a lot of times what I'm realizing is that it's really difficult to just make something new out of, like, you have infinite possibilities.
Right.
And so how do you make something new with that? And so it's like, if you put yourself into a box and say you can only work with these 2 or 3 different factors, which makes it difficult, but then it forces you to get out. And so that's kind of one way that I work with innovation. And another is really becoming aware of my value as a person and the journey that I've been on. Whereas like I had a lot of
you are still going through that journey, but I mean you've been quite through a lot of things.
So I think a lot of just thinking through what is it that makes me who I am, and what do I personally really love about different things. And I have done a lot of painting and sketching.
Yeah.
And
there was one time when we were talking about that, and I'm like, I sent you a painting thing on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I know you're more of a sculptor, and you threw me for a loop and showed me some beautiful work. I'm like, I'm shutting up. You know, I didn't realize how far you were doing incredible artwork on the front that I mess with. I got a long way to catch up to you, for sure.
Oh, gosh.
But no, so you're saying anyway.
Yeah, well, so it's just one of those things that I was trying to figure out what makes me who I am. Like, what makes my work different, and why do I like creating it?
Yes.
And so I actually thought about it, and I was thinking about what do I love about painting and sketching. And I love that you can have lost edges, and how a sketch can be really light, and you kind of just hint that the thing is there. And with sculpture, that's really challenging to do, because
I get the connection now. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's because you can't like zoom up and only do, you know, a horse's eye or like the front half, because the rest of it just kind of like, it would just look weird.
Right.
And so it took some time, but I was thinking through what would it look like to do a sketch in clay, or to have lost edges that make sense.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where that light, airy feel came, and the negative space. And then in my own personal journey, like that's a lot of my personal journey then, and the stories of my life get embedded into my work. And so it's the negative and the positive in our own life that makes us who we are, and that's also the defining characteristic of my sculptures.
And the final balance that brings out such a beautiful bunch of work. Now, have you ever worked at the scale that you're working on now with this latest piece?
No. So that was that's a big deal for me.
And when we talk about how big, if I was to lay down on the floor, I'm still smaller than this piece that you're working on. It's insane.
So it's a 1 1/4 size wolf. So it's about 6 feet long from head to tail.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Now, you did a smaller version of this, and did someone approach you and say, hey, make this ginormous? I mean, how'd that work out?
So it was actually some advice that I had gotten from some other people, where they had been working on large scale for quite a long time, and so I was chatting with them, because it's really the direction that I would love to go, is doing public work, because I think that there's a lot of interesting, intricate ideas that I could accomplish on a larger scale that would be really challenging
That'd
small.
Be perfect for your style.
And so their advice was, dream about it in front of people. So talk about it. Know what you want and talk about it. And so there was an incredible couple that came to visit me at one of my shows.
I love that. That's stuck in my head. Keep going. I'm sorry.
And so they fell in love with my mountain heart sculpture.
Yes.
And were interested in having it above their mantelpiece. And so I was really excited chatting with them, and just had a really good connection. And so I started sharing that this was one of my favorite pieces, and that I'd wanted to do it as a larger piece. And they caught the heart of it and really started dreaming with me, and asked for an estimate. And so I went to the foundries and was trying to figure out what on earth would this even look like, because I had no idea, and chatted with them, and they were on board. So they wanted to help make this dream come to life, and it was absolutely, I was floored. I think I cried.
We're talking a 5-figure sum on just what you've created so far.
Yeah.
Insanity. Yeah. Insanity.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and it's been really interesting working on a larger scale. There's a lot of things that I don't know about it, and what was interesting is I had a friend, and they were like, this is really new, this is kind of a big scary project, are you nervous? And I thought about it for a second, and I think in the past I might have been, because it's so new, and there's a lot of challenges that will present themselves. But I know so many amazing people who have helped me walk through everything that I've walked through up until this point, that I was able to actually very confidently say, I don't know what this is going to look like and how it's going to happen, but I do know and have the confidence that I will continue pushing forward no matter what, and I have people around me who will help me figure out the things that I don't know so that it'll happen. It'll get done, and so I don't actually have to be scared about it. And that was really an amazing place to be and just feel settled in.
Well, and that's in the conversation that I have with so many bronzers, it's like, first off, if you're going to get into bronzing, you can't do it as a hobby. It has to be the only way that you're going to survive is by turning it into a business.
Right.
And then the second side of that is, why on earth did you get into such a expensive medium, for Pete's sake? And then not only that, but the limitations on the foundries, the line to wait for your turn at the foundries, and then if you're trying to meet deadlines, which you have so many beautiful pieces right now that are under deadline, you know, I mean, the pressures that you're under, you have to be a very special kind of person to handle that. So,
well, it's definitely been a challenge, and honestly, I don't know that I would have gotten into it if I knew the extent of it. But now that I'm here, I'm really glad.
Aren't you glad? Yeah. And never would you assume that you would. I still remember making up an invoice to a gentleman for $1,700 for I think it was like 20 caricatures or something. I don't remember what it was. It was a big number. And I remember telling my wife over there that there's no way, shape, or form that this is going to have what just happened, you know, and
such a cool moment.
And it becomes a reality. Yeah. And so those numbers have continued to add up for you recently, and here you are. Not only that, but then you create all these little element things and you sell out. I mean, hey, to God give the glory, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So, and I love just watching it from the side going, I know her, you know. So it's wicked. It's fantastic. And that's what I'm excited about. And you guys need to come and see her work. You can go and check it out on social media. Like I said, prolific on Instagram. She does a great job on there. But come and see her work here at the show. She's with a bunch of awesome people from the gallery, from the Billings Gallery that's closed now, but you guys are still hanging out here at the show.
Yeah.
And you have a whole bunch of pieces, including, how did you transport that then? I mean, come on.
I rented a trailer and lashed everything down. It was an interesting process.
Did you drive through the snow, oh, Mike.
Yep. Oh, it was a little bit stressful, but we made it. We made it.
Yes,
we're
you
happy.
made it.
We're here.
You made it. I'm glad you made it safe and sound. Absolutely. So, can you please enlighten everyone to your social medias and how they can follow you?
Yeah. So on social media, it's AG Markel, and that's the website as well. agmarkel.com. Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to find me.
And get in line. She is busy. A year backlog, is that what you're saying right now?
Backlog, yeah. I've got inventory planned out for the next year at least.
So she'll be busy, and I don't think that'll be stopping anytime soon. So please come and see her work, be inspired. She has beautiful, incredible pieces, and I think the other individual who's next to us, who was talking with you as I was listening over, some of your pieces just look like water flowing, you know, and there's weight and balance, and in the world of negativity and emptiness, there is still balance in those moments when things are going wrong, and your work shows that.
Thank you.
It shows, hey, this might have been the negative side, this is the positive side. There is so much story inside your pieces. It shows.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah, I love that. It's been a big part of what I've been developing is the storytelling side of things, and actually each of my pieces does have a unique story that goes behind it.
Yep.
And so I've been working on writing those out and actually being able to share those rather than just having them in my head. So
give it about 20 years, we'll have a biography, you know, the whole thing, or bibliography, whichever. In any case, thank you, Amanda. And it's so good to see you too.
It's so wonderful to see you.
And I'm finally here with a show. I promised you I would, right?
Yeah,
I did.
And you did it. You did it. I love your work.
To the grace of God and to some amazing people who are making this reality. So it's really cool. So, hey, good things happening, right?
Absolutely. Every day.
All right, folks, you know what I'm about to say next? We are so excited to get you here. We're going to be here for 4 days at this amazing show. You really don't want to miss out. And most importantly, big thanks to Johnson Madison Lumber, my sponsor, who assists in making this possible. Treasure State Lifestyles Montana magazine, who makes this possible. Ferrins Furniture, who provided these awesome chairs.
They're so nice.
They're nice, aren't they?
They're so nice.
I get to sit down here with my computer and do editing, and it looks like I'm working, and I'm like, no, I'm just about to take a nap now. So big thanks to Ferrins Furniture here in Great Falls for providing these excellent chairs for this. They're very comfortable. And then, of course, all the amazing shows that are here. Now, I had Kenneth do this, and I'm sure you remember this from before. Please, if you would do the honors.
Absolutely.
Please sign that, and I'm, of course, going to have you sign my hat as well.
Okay.
So, and if you don't know the story behind the hat here, I asked my wife to marry me in this hat, and thankfully we've been married for almost 10 years now, and she's still in love with me, I think, so we're doing pretty well. So this hat means a lot to me, and I would love it if you would sign it as well.
Oh, I'd love to.
So get all the Amandas to sign this, you know. So, and while we're doing that, folks, just please make sure that you go and take a look at all the amazing work she does. And we'll be back with more right here on the podcast. Tons more. Please go to MontanaLifestylesPodcast.com, where you're going to see all the other stuff we've done. We've done an interview with Steve Seltzer, a big name here in Great Falls. His grandfather, O.C. Seltzer, trained under C.M. Russell himself. So a lot of great stories that you can see in the magazine and on our podcast. Would love it if you check it out. All right.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll see you in the next one.